Alright guys, in today's video we're going to be working on a GMT 400 SUV rear door type problem. What we got going on here is this speaker cover. As you can see, is the mounting brackets on one side are broken off, and I'm going to show you how you can replace that. And there's two ways you can go about replacing it. You can replace the whole panel. These have been long discontinued from GM, so you'd have to hit a salvage yard for that. Or you can replace just this. This wasn't originally serviceable, but I'll show you how you can go to the salvage yard and just pull this part. To get going first, we got to get the door panel off either way. It's held in by two Phillips head screws here, and then we just need to pop it off from the retainers all around the perimeter and disconnect the courtesy light. So let's grab a screwdriver and get started. All right, with those two guys out, we're going to grab a trim tool, and we're going to start down on the corner where we can get our finger in here. You can see that sound is the clips releasing. That one down there is really tough. All right, I think we've got all this side off. I think we got the bottom off. All right, so now we got to take this guy off. I guess I probably should have took him off beforehand. Sorry about that, guys. Trying to be super gentle on these old pieces because at this many years of age, you know, they're coming up on 3 decades. They're going to be very fragile. We still got somebody stubborn over here. This thing just has completely broken off at this point. All the pins is what they look like. And at this point, all of them except the two on the side, on the back here, and this bottom one are left. So just trying to remove the panel, finish that off. There we go. Sure why we're having such difficulty with this guy. All right. Take that guy out. Just think turn this around. Something we can push this in, this guy right here on the top. Okay. And then the same deal with the speaker. It's got the same kind of push-in connector that we saw over there. Can't really get you a good view of it, but I'm going to push that in and work it off as well. All right, just a little deal like that. All right, so I want to make sure that all of these pins came out. Sometimes they get stuck inside and break off. If you're missing one, I'll put a link in the description for the replacement pins. All right, so in this case, this thing is completely, whoops, down here. This guy is completely let go. So I really I'm not able to really give you a clear view of how to remove it, but I'll show you the technique. I'm going to rest this on my shoe. I'm going to put the broken one back on for a moment. And when you go pull this off at the salvage yard, what you'll see is these connectors here and here all the way around will be holding it in place. And what I found works best is a trim removal tool like this. And you can stick it right in that slot. So you see those two little prongs. That's what you're trying to not break off when you salvage it. If you just give it a twist like that. This is the problem, is a lot of these are going to be like this. But I will show you that it is possible to extract one with that technique. These are a little bit more stout. Like that. And that is how you get one of these off. Let me show you the replacement one that we successfully pulled from the salvage yard. All right, guys, I didn't want to leave you hanging here, so I was at the salvage yard for something else. I figured I'd show you real quick how you remove these. So first, to check that it's a good one to do, you can look at each of these and make sure these two little prongs are intact on each one of these retainers. It's not worth bothering with if they're not all there. If they're all there, you only need to get about 4 of them loose and it'll basically fall out. 2 trim tools. Little curved one's nice for what I'm going to show you on the other side. So coming in over here and trying to put just a little bit of pressure, just a little bit, to work this off, and then this guy to try to get it to get these little teeth off this ledge of the panel. These little teeth are the most fragile pieces. If something like this breaks, like we saw in the original one, then you just need to move on to the next vehicle. So we just kind of pry it away so that they don't get damaged by twisting this top trim tool, right? So those two are out. Let's give this guy a twist here. This guy a twist here. Move this tool over a little bit. That one's off. Now we can probably use our finger to get this guy off. Yep. And it'll just come right out at that point, and then we can just make sure that these are all intact and nothing got damaged. I'll see if I can find a gray one here too to show you that for the part number. This is also helpful for us to take this gray one off. We can see there's yet another part number here. Can't quite make it out, but if we zoom in, you'll be able to make out that part number for the gray for the left-hand side. All right, so here's what it's supposed to look like, and this is the one we successfully extracted from the salvage yard, so all the pins are intact. There's a part number on here. In this case, it's 15, looks like 1596, 1897 left hand. This is not a serviceable part. This was just a part for the supplier to GM, and you'll see that the one for the right-hand side is a 1596, 1898, and that's for the tan style. Each color, like blue and red and this tan, had separate numbers for each side, but again, it wasn't anything you could order. But I'll put some part numbers down because a lot of times if you find somebody selling one of these on eBay, I'll put a link down below, they'll usually list it by this kind of molded in number. All right, so to get this guy installed, without breaking it, we're going to line up where each of those guys go, and we're going to just gently work them in. And we're going to hope for the best. All right, and we turn it back around again. And success. All these are back in position and they're not broken, and now we can go reinstall this guy back into position. So I hope that helps you out. I don't necessarily show you reinstalling it. It's just a matter of pushing these male pins back into these females, making sure that you have both all of the males and all the females, then reattaching these two Phillips screws. There is a torque value on those, but at this point when things are approaching 30 years old, my advice is just snug it down good and tight, because everything's getting old and creaky, and some things like this, particularly the plastic on this side, if you were to try and torque these fasteners down, it's a good chance it might crack. We don't need any more damage on discontinued unobtainium parts. If you found this video useful and helped you get a missing or broken speaker cover on either side on one of these SUV trucks like Suburbans, Tahoes, Yukons, I appreciate you paying it forward by hitting that like button. And as always, thanks for watching.